For years, we've longed for a place at European football's top table. To have made back-to-back Champions League quarter-finals highlights how far we've come. But of course, we want more. As far as this competition goes, Real Madrid was the toughest possible draw. They're European royalty. There's an inevitability about them. They are 15-time winners of this competition. And they've got a team stacked full of world stars. Ask yourself the question, would you feel this nervous trying to hold on to a 3-goal lead against anybody else? I don't think so. This time last week, Emirates Stadium was excited rather than expectant. The atmosphere was electric, and as the game went on, Arteta's Arsenal grew in confidence. Rice bent one in to set the Gunners on their way.
Declan Rice to hit it. Declan Rice scores! Stunning from Declan Rice!
Moments later, he produced one of the most aesthetically pleasing free kicks you'll ever see to double our lead.
It's going to be Rice, and he's done it again! Oh my word! Declan Rice has bent one into the top corner and doubled Arsenal's lead!
Dreamland indeed, but we weren't done yet. Forward stepped Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Into Mikel Merino! Arsenal are in third! Arsenal are in dreamland! And it's a Spaniard, Mikel Merino, who finds the bottom.
And cue the greatest noise N5 has ever seen. But the job's not done yet. The mission isn't complete. For all the frustration, the moaning and the groaning this season, Arsenal are just 90 minutes away from a UEFA Champions League semi-final. The 3-goal lead we take to the Bernabeu shouldn't be something we hide behind. We can't afford to go into our shell and be swallowed up by the occasion. Instead, it should be a platform we build from. Play our game and play it with confidence. We deserve to be here. Seize the moment. Write your names into the club's history. Not everybody knocks out the mighty Real Madrid. We're not there yet, but what an opportunity we have in front of us. Come on, you Gunners! Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another live episode of the Chronicles of Aguna podcast, coming to you live from the Spanish capital, the beautiful city of Madrid. I promised you I'd keep up with the 10 a.m. streams, and here we are, coming to you live from a side street somewhere. I did try and pitch up on the main road. I thought the view was better, but it was just too noisy. So I decided to move onto a side street where I could talk to you guys and you can actually hear me. Look, we did our preview show yesterday, so there isn't a massive amount to kind of expand on. Not a lot has changed since that. We heard the press conference from Mikel Arteta in which he revealed that Thomas Partey is ready to play. Ben White is available to the squad, which is obviously huge in terms of having those alternative defensive options. And we also heard that, unfortunately, Jorginho's missed out. Now, I do feel like Jorginho being absent is a blow, because I think there is a world in which Jorginho's skill set becomes quite useful and quite handy to Arsenal tonight at some stage in the game. But look, I wanted to set the scene a little bit. That's what I'm here to do with you guys this morning. If I could ask you, if you haven't done so already, please do leave a like on the video. The more likes, the more people it reaches. And we want Arsenal fans all over the world to get a feel for what the atmosphere is like here in the Spanish capital. So likes are very much appreciated. Subscribe as well to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're going to keep bringing you coverage, on the ground coverage. And as we continue, hopefully, on this amazing journey through the UEFA Champions League. So likes, subscribe, all the rest of that stuff. If you're watching us on X, come over to the Chronicles of Aguna YouTube channel and give us a subscribe. That way you'll never miss a bit of content. You'll get notifications when we go live. And of course, you can subscribe to the Chronicles of Aguna on all major podcast stores. If you fancy supporting us and you want access to additional content, you can get that. What you need to do is go to the Patreon link in the description and sign up. But now that all of that stuff's out of the way, let's focus on tonight. I mean, I was told on my way out here that the weather wasn't very good. Now, it might still take a turn for the worse. It is a little bit chilly. It's not quite T-shirt weather. And you do need a light coat, I would say. But there's glorious sunshine here in Madrid. It's a really, really lovely day. I've had a little bit of a walk around this morning. Had some work commitments and some other engagements that I needed to attend this morning, so I've had a little bit of a look around and had a little bit of um, a sort of a mini kind of sightseeing trip. But I've got so much more to explore over the course of the day, and I look forward to heading to the main square a little bit later on, where I'm sure the majority of the Arsenal fans are going to be congregated. They're going to be making noise. They're going to be drinking the beers and getting ready for what hopefully is going to be a really, really kind of special night for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal side. Look, I said it yesterday. I feel like we need to be kind of cautiously confident. That was how I described the kind of mode that I think Arsenal need to enter this game in. And I still stick by that. I think for me, you come to a place like the Bernabeu, you have to find that middle ground between, playing your own game and expressing yourself, but also making sure that you don't give anything up too cheap, making sure that you don't give Real Madrid any encouragement. Because if you'd listen to what they've been saying, what their camp has been saying, Jude Bellingham was put up to the media yesterday, and he seems quite confident that, Real Madrid can give this a really good go. And why wouldn't they feel that way? This club has an unbelievable history, an unbelievable record for kind of turning around really difficult situations, particularly in this competition, particularly at the Santiago Bernabeu. And so they've got to believe, right? From their perspective, that's absolutely the right way to approach the game. And it would be very easy as Arsenal and Arsenal fans to listen to that, to listen to the confidence with which they speak around the potential of a comeback, and start to feel a little bit more nervous, start to become concerned. But for me, as Arsenal fans, as the Arsenal team, we've just got to believe in ourselves. We come into this game with a 3-0 lead because we absolutely deserve to have it. We deserve to be here. We deserve to be at this stage of the Champions League, and we deserve to even go one further and make it to the semi-finals. But the job is not done. There is a lot of work still to be done on the night. We're going to need to be, as I say, cautiously confident. And what I mean by that is play our game to a degree. Play our game to a certain point. But don't take unnecessary and silly risks at key moments in the game. For a long time, we've been accused of being dark arts FC. Well, I can tell you this, Real Madrid, there's probably no better club at this in Europe. They would probably argue Atletico, but there's probably not very many clubs that are as good and as well versed at kind of, slowing games down when they need to, disrupting tempos and rhythms when they need to. And that's exactly what we got to do tonight. We're not the ones chasing. We are not coming here with a real sort of aggression. We shouldn't anyway. We need to come with that balanced approach. And that balanced approach means going after them when we feel that the time is right, but also making sure that the spaces and the gaps that we leave, which was something I discussed at length after the first leg, are very, very manageable. It's so, so important that Arsenal get their approach right, not just in terms of tactically, not just in terms of being, sort of technically very sound, completed passes, maintaining possession, all of that stuff, but up here as well. Mentally, Arsenal have to be switched on at all times, because this is the type of place where you could be cruising on 75 minutes. They get one, very quickly find a second, and the tide completely turns. And you do not want to be in that position in a place like this. You absolutely do not want to be in that position. You want to manage the situation as best as possible. You want to keep the game as uneventful as possible. And somebody asked me the question this morning on a radio piece that I done. I thought it was a really, really interesting question. Does what happened between Aston Villa, or what nearly happened, I guess, between Aston Villa and PSG kind of change the way that we're looking at this, or change our approach or feelings in any way? And I think it's really, really important that Mikel Arteta doesn't focus too much on that. I understand the want to serve that up as a warning for what can happen, and listen, if Aston Villa can do it, with all due respect to them, if they can make it as close as that, then Real Madrid certainly can. So I understand the kind of want to use that as an example of what can happen if you're not bang on it, if the opposition are right up for it, if the atmosphere gets on top of you. PSG got away with it last night to a point and to a degree. But at the same time, you don't want to shove that down people's throats. You don't want to make too big an issue or too big a deal of that, because you can start to contribute to the nerves that these Arsenal players are already going to be feeling. You can make it even more nervier than it needs to be. So I think that's kind of the art of management and the art of communication. Put that point across. Look, this is what can happen if the game gets away from you. This is what can happen if you're not bang on it from the start. But at the same time, you've got to be really kind of cautious and really careful about how you put that message across. Look, I haven't got a whole load of material to kind of rattle through on today's podcast because, as I say, the preview show, it came out yesterday. Go back on the channel. It's the last video. Go back on the feed if you're a podcast listener, and you'll be able to check that out. But I did want to take some of your thoughts and some of your questions from the live chat. I thought that would be a good way to approach today's episode. And listen, if you want to get a feel for what the atmosphere is like a little bit later on in the day, I'm not going to have a laptop with me this afternoon, I'd imagine. I'm not going to have all the kind of headsets and all the rest of it. I'm going to leave that stuff at the hotel until it's time, of course, to head off to the Bernabeu this evening. But yeah, I mean, if you want to get a taste and a feel for what it's like, then come over to my social media platforms at Harry Symeou. You can find me, and you'll be able to keep tabs on what's going on in the city of Madrid. Let's take some of your comments then. So 13x says, "Hi Harry, I think tonight will be an incredibly nervous night for us Gooners. I can see a 2-0 Madrid win and us narrowly going through 3-2 on aggregate. Let's hope though it's a repeat of last week." I think to ask for a repeat of last week would be ridiculous given that, or to expect that given, I'm not saying you are, but given sort of how much of a shock to the system that was for so many of us. I think it's going to be a nervous night, even if it's 0-0 up to 80 minutes, genuinely, because we want it so badly. And when you want something so badly and a result matters to you as much as this result matters to us and matters to us, the football club, nerves are always going to be there. It's how you control those nerves. It's how you channel that feeling. And it's something that you need to use in order to keep you focused rather than something that you crumble under pressure-wise. So, look, I expect a nervy night regardless. Wandering Minstrel says, "Dark arts at max level." Absolutely, I do want to see that. I do indeed. Yata says, "Is it just me or do the Madrid team sound very rattled? I've never heard so many comments or sound bites from them before a game." I don't know that they're rattled. Obviously, they'll be disappointed with how the first leg went. They didn't lay a glove on us, if we're being honest, and that would have really hurt them. They've got some big players in that team, and with that comes big egos. And when a big ego gets hit, you're always going to get or see some kind of reaction. And so I think there's an element of that to it. In terms of their comments, look, I think if we were in their situation, we'd be doing exactly the same thing. I've talked a lot over the course of the last couple of seasons about how Arsenal have got much better at their messaging, how that messaging coming from players, from the manager, from the club's official channels, all of that can really kind of influence the mindset of the supporters going into the stadium. And many times before, I've talked about Arteta talking about the crowd and the element that they play and the role that they can play. And then I think that translates into the atmosphere, because even if you're not thinking of Mikel's comments while you're in the stadium, he's planted that seed about the importance of the atmosphere, which naturally, I think, is a kind of call to action for people. So I think that's what Real Madrid are trying to do. Like, I think they are trying to galvanize their support. They are trying to create a really strong atmosphere. They're trying to create an environment that gives them a greater chance of succeeding in what's a really, really difficult task. Dr. Pepper says, "We earned a good lead. It's time to display the development of the team and coaching staff, and this is the best chance. We need to let Madrid know we're a threat that they need to monitor in the future." Yeah, and look, I don't envy the coaches. I don't envy the coaching staff. I don't envy anybody that's got to make any decisions with regards to tonight's game, because, if we're too defensive and we end up messing it up, there'll be people that complain that the approach was wrong. And if we go to hurt Real Madrid and we sort of go all guns blazing, then there'll be people out there that say that was the wrong approach, and if indeed it does go to cost us. So again, I think balance is key, but what does that balance look like? And we've seen it very, very often before. You can go into a game with a game plan, something happens in the first 15-20 minutes of a game, and that game plan goes out the window, and you have to be able to adapt, you have to be able to change, you have to be able to think on your feet. And that's what makes the best managers in world football stand out from everybody else. And I think Mikel Arteta is developing into one of those. I think his game management generally has come a long way. I think there are examples where you can look back and say, maybe this was wrong and maybe that was wrong, as with any manager and any coach. But I do think generally that's something he's really improved on. So I take confidence from that. Cannon Creature says, I'm sure Arteta has warned our team about potential outcomes. One thing our team and manager is strong with is his in-game management. Just what I was saying there. Our players are well organised on the pitch. Tom says, let's get the job done. Let's get in 0-0 at halftime. I would sign for a 0-0 at halftime right now. Big hello to Amberley, who says, hope you're having fun in Madrid. Look, I got here late last night. So I've got up this morning from the crack of dawn. I've been working constantly, solid, all the way through. I mean, you guys are probably thinking it's only like 10 o'clock over there. It's 11:15 here now at the time of recording. So I've got a couple more bits and pieces to do. I'm going to release this out on the audio platforms, and then I'm going to go and enjoy my day up until tonight. Hi, Brienne says, Harry, thank you for bringing this glorious occasion to us that are watching from afar. It's truly special. Thank you very much, mate, and glad you're enjoying the content. That's probably a really good time to remind you guys, if you haven't done so already, please leave a like on the video. It really, really, really does help. There's no reason why we shouldn't have like 250 odd likes, 300 likes by the time we end this stream. I can see how many of you are watching, and it's truly mind-blowing. So please support the channel by liking, support the channel by subscribing, and if you want to go one further and support us to bring you more content on the ground from occasions such as these, then you can visit our Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Darren says, Harry, you got a ticket, or are you streaming from the bar? I will be inside the Santiago Bernabeu tonight, but I'll be covering the game for BBC Radio London, so I'll be in the press box. What an honour, by the way, and I just have to say a massive thank you to them as well, because ever since I've started working with them, they've given me so many amazing opportunities to cover the club that I love, and I hope that I've done that justice, and I hope that I've been able to bring them a really good level of Arsenal coverage as well. But honestly, like, if you had told me, I don't know what now, 6 years ago when I started podcasting about the Arsenal, that I would be out of banking and covering a Champions League quarter-final at the Santiago Bernabeu involving my team, I would have laughed at you. And a lot of my friends and family would have laughed at me if I said that as well. That's not to dig them out, but there was times where people looked at me and looked at what I was doing and went, are you going to be able to make this work? Like, is this an actual job? And look, it might not last forever, and that's why I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it. And I'm buzzing to be here in Madrid. Owen Young says, are you expecting some wild officiating tonight? I kind of made that point the other day, and it was shut down by a few of you in the comments who said, yeah, but Real Madrid have got this really fractured relationship with UEFA, and that is going to lead to UEFA being anti-Real Madrid, if anything else. If anything, I mean, I think regardless of what UEFA's relationship is with Real Madrid off the back of the Super League stuff, I think as a referee, it's only natural that to a point you're going to be influenced by the Bernabeu crowd. You're going to walk out there, there's going to be 80,000 plus people there on top of you as well. It's not one of those stadiums where there's a huge sort of gap between the pitch and the supporters. It is literally on top of you, and I think it's natural that they're going to have a little bit of sway on the referee, and so we've got to be clever and we've got to manage the game right. Sniper says, I can see a Martinelli masterclass tonight. I think Martinelli's really key tonight as an outlet for us. I think we really need him to do his bit. Obviously defensively, because we know that defensively he's really handy, really helpful, really useful. I think that's a lot of the reason why he's in the team sometimes, even when, from the outside we look in and say maybe his form isn't quite where it needs to be. So, yeah, I think that Martinelli is going to be really important. I think Saka's going to be really important as well, because I feel like those two guys are going to be our outlets, and it's really important that we have outlets and that we have that ability to kind of get out, escape, hit Real Madrid long into channels, into spaces, pull them into areas that they don't want to go into. Naturally, they're going to want to squeeze up because they need to attack us, right? So I think those two players are going to be really, really key on an occasion like tonight. What else have we got in the chat? Sunil says, thanks for the live, brother. You're welcome. Thanks for joining it. I should be saying thank you to you guys, not the other way around. Carl says, make sure to cheer the boys on for me too, Harry. Oh, come on. Come on. We've got Ostevo joining us from Taiwan. You know what? Should we do that thing? Let's do that thing. Let us know where you're joining us from. Big hello as well to Jacob Coleshaw. I hope you're well, man. Good to see you smashing it as well over the weekend. Great video that you posted up. Give Jakey a follow. One of the best in the business. Fantastic at what he does and a great friend as well. So the 90 Min following, those of you that used to watch 90 Min, you will be well aware of Jakey. So give him a follow. Good to see you in the chat, mate. Okay, let's see where people are joining us from. We've got India. We've got Birmingham. We've got Kosovo. We've got the Costa del Palmas Green. We've got Cyprus. We've got Ireland. Oh, this is all jumping around all over the place. Lots of you from Cyprus, which I love. As a Cypriot, I love. What else have we got? We've got Trinidad. We've got Perth in Western Australia. We've got Norway. We've got Madrid. We've got Malaysia. We've got New Zealand. We've got Ireland. We've got Canada. We've got Nicosia. We've got Maidstone. We've got Kent. We have got South Africa, Cape Town. An Englishman in a small town, Scotland, is Ross. We've got Australia, Pretoria, more Australia, Kenya. This is crazy. This is going off in the chat. We've got India, Boston, Massachusetts, Scotland again, sunny Swindon, North London, St Vincent and the Grenadines. Amazing. Liverpool, Cyprus Schooners representing. Absolutely. There's loads of you in the chat, which is amazing. We've got Cornwall. We've got Freetown, Sierra Leone. We've got Tajikistan. I'm just going to pick out places that I haven't already read now. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. We have got Uganda. We've got Brooklyn, Nigeria. Amazing. Brazil. Incredible. Incredible to see so many people joining us from all over the world here on the Chronicles of a Gooner channel. I can't believe how many of you are watching, by the way. My head's exploded. We've got Belgium as well. Look, any more questions? Any more thoughts on tonight's game that you want to throw in? I'll wrap up and give you guys a chance to get any of those in before we sign off. Sorry about the focus on the camera. When I move, it seems to go out of focus. I've got a little plug-in camera, which I'm not a big fan of based on that. But anyway, look, my kind of final thoughts, enjoy it. You know, as Arsenal fans, embrace it. This is what we have wanted and been waiting for such a long time, to be dining at Europe's top table. And if we get through tonight, we are doing exactly that. We'll be Champions League semi-finalists. And there's a lot of naysayers around Arsenal at the moment. There's a lot of people that look at what we've done in the Premier League and how we've fallen off in the Premier League and want that to be the narrative of our season. Well, we've got a chance to change that narrative. We've got a chance to shape it in a completely different and much more favourable way. And that is by reaching the last four of the UEFA Champions League. You know, obviously, when you're here, you want to go beyond that. You want to go further. You want to win the damn thing. Absolutely, you do. But to get to the last four in Europe's premier competition, if we can achieve that tonight, will be a reminder. I'm not going to say an indicator, because I think there'll be people that will always push back on that and that will say your league form is your bread and butter, and that's ultimately what in a lot of cases you'll be judged on. But for me, I think this serves as a reminder to how far Arsenal have travelled under Mikel Arteta's management. And there'll be people out there, Arsenal fans, they call themselves Arsenal fans, that will be waiting for him to fail tonight, that will secretly be okay with Arsenal going out tonight so that they can say, I told you so, so that they can say, look at this manager, you know, he's seen us bottle this lead, blah, 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 blah. Those narratives exist, and there are people that profit from those narratives, and they want to shove them down your throat. Forget about all that. Forget about all that crap. Obviously, if we go out tonight and things go really, really pear-shaped, we're going to be disappointed. We're going to be gutted. We don't need people to tell us how we're feeling. We don't need people to stick the boot in. We need to focus on our own objectives. We need to try and get through tonight. And if we do that, wow, We're in the last four, and from there, anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. And my word, if we were to cap off this season with success in the UEFA Champions League, it would really stick it to a fair few people, wouldn't it? Out there who refuse to acknowledge and refuse to accept or give Arsenal any credit for the progress that they have made. Let me take a couple of your thoughts from the live chat before I wrap up. I'm going to go and have some late breakfast. I think that's what I'll be doing next. What else have we got? Just scrolling through. Palash says, have you ever attended a Bernabeu game before, Harry? I haven't, so new experience for me, and really, really excited about that. I mean, there's nothing better than going and watching your own team play there, but in order to kind of take it into its fullest, I probably would have wanted to come at a time where my nerves are not going to be all over the place. But hey, I'm super grateful to be here. Jamie B says, seriously, never come across an Arteta naysayer. I'm sure they are out there, though, mate. There are loads of them. There are loads of them on these platforms, believe me. And they all crawl out when Arsenal fail or when Arsenal get an unfavourable result. If Arsenal get through tonight, I promise you they'll be hiding. They'll be hiding, or they'll be putting on a smile that everybody's going to see right through. Samus says, really going to try and take in the moment tonight. This is the kind of match situations we live for. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Wesbird says, smash the like button, please, people, and big up, Harry. Thank you very much. And a big happy birthday to Jid as well, one of our regular viewers, listeners. We don't always agree. We had a big disagreement recently on the Jakub Kivior stuff, but, mate, honestly, appreciate your listenership and your support. I really, really do. It's okay to have different opinions, but like you seem like a stand-up guy, and so wishing you a happy birthday, and I hope that you get what you want as well, which is the outcome in the end that we all want, isn't it? Arsenal to progress. Right, listen, I am gonna leave it there. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be bringing you build up to the game on BBC Radio London Digital tonight. Throughout the evening from the Spanish capital. Yeah, look out for some more content over the course of the next 24 hours. Hopefully some positive stuff. I'll see you all on the next one. Until then, guys, take care of yourselves. Have a great day. And yeah, I'll run that trailer one more time. Arsenal away in Madrid. Come on, you Gunners. Let's get it done. For years, we've longed for a place at European football's top table. To have made back-to-back Champions League quarter-finals highlights how far we've come. But of course, we want more. As far as this competition goes, Real Madrid was the toughest possible draw. They're European royalty. There's an inevitability about them. They are 15-time winners of this competition. And they've got a team stacked full of world stars. Ask yourself the question, would you feel this nervous trying to hold on to a 3-goal lead against anybody else? I don't think so. This time last week, Emirates Stadium was excited rather than expectant. The atmosphere was electric, and as the game went on, Arteta's Arsenal grew in confidence. Rice bent one in to set the Gunners on their way.
Declan Rice to hit it. Declan Rice scores! Stunning from Declan Rice!
Moments later, he produced one of the most aesthetically pleasing free kicks you'll ever see to double our lead.
It's going to be Rice, and he's done it again! Oh my word! Declan Rice has bent one into the top corner and doubled Arsenal's lead!
Dreamland indeed, but we weren't done yet. Forward stepped Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Into Mikel Merino! Arsenal are the third! Arsenal are in Dreamland! And it's a Spaniard, Mikel Merino, who finds the bottom.
And cue the greatest noise N5 has ever seen. But the job's not done yet. The mission isn't complete. For all the frustration, the moaning and the groaning this season, Arsenal are just 90 minutes away from a UEFA Champions League semi-final. The 3-goal lead we take to the Bernabeu shouldn't be something we hide behind. We can't afford to go into our shell and be swallowed up by the occasion. Instead, it should be a platform we build from. Play our game and play it with confidence. We deserve to be here. Seize the moment,
Write your names into the club's history. Not everybody knocks out the mighty Real Madrid. We're not there yet, but what an opportunity we have in front of us. Come on, you Gunners!